Good morning out there. How are you? This is Ed the Finance Guy. I want to thank everyone for listening. I'm getting a lot of good response. I do appreciate the suggestions I'm getting. If you have any suggestions, email me ed1959@usa.com. I'm hoping everybody listens, learns, and knowledge is power. And let's get started. I wanted to talk about the executive order that President Trump signed. Now, I'm not a very political person. I really don't believe in all the Democrats, Republic. I think people should they should decide on what to do in Congress that benefits people. We pay a lot of taxes, and now it's an unusual time. And I think it should be no fighting between Democrats and Republicans. Just try to do whatever you can to help the people that are unemployed, help people out of this mess. Hopefully, in 6 months, we'll be done with this problem. And then they could raise the taxes a little bit or do what they have to do. But there's so many people unemployed. It's so sad to see food lines and it's really hard to believe the United States could have these kind of problems. So let's get into what the president said, the executive orders. He had four main decisions. One would be that there'd be no evictions. So landlords wouldn't be able to evict anybody that couldn't pay their rent. Now, of course, if you're a landlord, you can't like this law. But there has to be some part of the stimulus plan that helps people that are landlords, that have property, that have office buildings where people are moving out of. Remember, people are now working out of their homes. I'm sure that's going to be a trend that's going to continue even when this is all over. Why should I pay rent for an office space, pay for secretary, pay for heating, phone bill, when I can have everybody working out of their house and I could save a lot of money every month? So I'm pretty sure that's going to continue. And now to say there should be no evictions is not fair to people that are landlords. So there has to be some part of the stimulus plan that either gives an EIDL loan, a disaster loan, to landlords to help them because they're not getting rent. They have their own mortgage to pay. So it's a good rule having no evictions, and it's bad for the landlords. And again, these are executive orders that he didn't even have the power to pass. And I'm sure Congress is going to fight him all the way through. But you know what? You like Trump, you don't like Trump. I like the fact that he's at least trying. He's at least trying to do something. Congress can't decide what to do. People are out there starving. They don't have the unemployment checks that they had before. Do something. Do something productive. Don't fight in Congress about different rules, different laws while people are really struggling out there. So the second part of the executive order was to change the $600 pandemic unemployment down to $400 a week. Now, it's interesting that he said that it's $300 paid by the government and $100 paid by the state. Now, the states are all struggling for money. They're trying to get loans. And Trump is saying, well, they can take the money that we gave them and use $100 of it to pay towards the unemployment. Now, I don't think he gave them the money yet. I don't think that's already been enacted. And I don't know how it's possible that the states can come up with the extra $100. Whatever money the states got, they need for other reasons, not to pay for this $100 a week. So the whole thing should be paid by the government. Now, again, the $600 a week was a real problem because people were taking that money and they weren't working. I know a lot of clients decided not to go back to work because they were making more money on unemployment, which is not right. So I don't know what the number should be, $300 or $400. But of course, if you're directly affected, you don't have a job, your company went out of business, whatever happened, you want the number to be as high as possible. So far be it for me to say it's too much. You know, if you're out there and you're struggling, it's not enough, whatever they give you. But the fact that they want the state to pay the extra 100 is ridiculous. That shouldn't be. It's got to be a government program. They have to pay the whole thing. So the third step was that there would be no student loan payments, which again makes sense. You know, helps the people, the students. They can't get jobs. You know, they just graduated. So many people are unemployed. Why would people hire someone brand new? And they're all, you know, all the youth of today, they're looking for $80,000 a year jobs. They're not looking for $30,000 starter jobs. They want to be the boss. So a lot of them don't have jobs. So the fact that they don't have to pay student loan interest, student loans, is a really good thing. So that I have to applaud. That has to continue to go on until this is over. And the fourth one, which is really the biggest one, is that not paying federal taxes. Now, a lot of people misunderstand this to say that they don't have to pay any taxes on their income, and it's not true. The only thing that you don't have to pay is the Social Security part of your 7.65% Medicare/Social Security. So there's 6.2 of that goes to Social Security, 1.45 goes for Medicare. So what Trump is saying is that people don't have to pay the 6.2% on whatever income they make, but it's not forever. It's just a temporary thing, and you're gonna have to make that payment down the road. Now, Trump is pretty smart to say, well, if I get elected president again, then I might waive that rule, and you don't have to pay back the money. So he's kind of using this rule to get votes, in my opinion. So it turns out that he wants people to not pay that 6.2% temporarily. If you vote for me again, I may waive that. So that's a little bit of an incentive for people to vote for him. But again, 6.2%, if you're making $1,000 a week, you're saving $62 a week times 6 months. It doesn't come out to that much money. It comes out much better if people just got a $1,200 stimulus check. So I don't really see that happening, and that's one of the reasons Congress didn't want to vote for this part of the bill. They don't want to have Social Security affected. Social Security right now, they're paying firemen's widows, police widows. People are living longer. Social Security is in a lot of trouble. The only way that it's going to continue down the road is if they raise Social Security, or they raise the amount of Social Security tax based on how much earnings you have. Every few years, they raise the amount of salary that you have to pay Social Security on. So they're going to keep raising that number, and they're going to change it from 7.65 to 8.65 to come up with money, because they don't want Social Security to run out of money. You know, the question all the time is, will Social Security run out of money? It's never going to run out of money. If they have the power to raise the tax, it can't run out of money. So now keeping this money, withholding this percentage, 6.2 from Social Security, will have a great effect on the Social Security system. So that's one of the reasons why they didn't want this to pass. And I believe they're going to fight this entire package because he simply didn't have the right to do this. But in my view, I'm glad he's trying to do something. He's pushing them along a little bit, saying, well, listen, this is what I want to do. You can't decide. You can't decide which way you want to vote. There's no mortgage abatement right now. There's no unemployment insurance. People are getting a third of what they were getting before. That's what's important, to help the people right now. Well, I hope you enjoy my opinions on this topic. This is Ed the Finance Guy. I'm glad you're listening. Thanks very much. Keep tuning in. Like, subscribe. Remember to be smart, be safe, and see you next time.